In the context of a pragmatic society where money is on the throne, Ghibli Studio, the monument of legendary anime series, brought to the audience. It's a very realistic film. Tell the story of an old woman, a magician in the dirt, to cheat on the sisters, but not because he had him in the castle. And he's a big bird, right? Like the values often seen in Ghibli movies. Movies have more meaning than we think. A lot of it's about movies, that's probably true. But later, this is recaptured by House's kitchen castle. In the heirloom hat shop, Sophie is struggling with work. A neighbor came to ask her out. Of course Sophie refused, because your soul is broken, and that hats. They are not capable of civil action. Take care of yourself. The girls are outside. We're talking about House's castle, and the rumor that House the wizard ate the heart. The girls love you. Peter doesn't care about boys and girls. She had just taken Luffy's straw hat and was about to go home. Sister Leslie. Following the instructions, she got lost in a small alley. Two friendly soldiers are waiting with unfriendly actions. Suddenly the moat appears from behind. Recite the spell to drive out the two soldiers. Other guys are afraid to mess with me. TikTok music stuff. Page Shaman releases Sophie at Leslie's house. Disappear at the festival. Sophie sat in the closet talking to her sister. I'm worried about you because you're a fucking boy. In front of the neighbor, Sophie left out of the ear. I'm busy thinking about the wizard. Love gives a soul. Give the whole thing. Restless is your uncle. When she returned home, the witch of the dead walked in. This woman is the owner of the horse. Take Theo House to Sophie in the afternoon. In a male voice. You're going to ask Sophie about House's whereabouts. Where is he? Here he is. He saw it. Oh, this dog is so upset that he's disabled in front of him. The fat lady passed Sophie and left the curse on her. The girl didn't forget to leave a message that you're not going to be able to tell the AI about this curse. After being forbidden by the second Hawkage, Sophie is now a juju with half a sweet potato on my face. Because I don't want anyone to know that I left her hometown the next morning. Slow onset of blurred. So she had to find an empty stick by the side of the road. But the stick turned out to be a scarecrow. Look at the bead head. The bead's head also seems haunted, so it moves. He gave her an empty stick of his will. The old woman can see the elephant. I have another house to sleep in for the night. So the beadhead runs away. The castle of Howl too. Granny Sophie be a legs for legs running. To the moving castle. Find a place to sleep. Sophie was so grateful and forgot about the radish and let it quietly chase. To enter the castle of Howl, Sophie went to the burning stove to get warm. This kitchen is small, but it's a lie. Make friends with me. The fire demon introduced himself as Cow Cypher. He helps House's castle survive. He asked the old African woman to break the curse. Attach fire to the castle so that Cow Cypher is free, and in exchange, it'll break Sophie's curse. I heard Cow Cypher talking too loud. Sophie's ears were sleeping. Outside the door, the officers were calling House. It startled Sophie to wake up. Come on, Grandpa, it's done. A boy came down from the house and opened the door. This boy's name is Marco. I saw the old woman sleeping in the kitchen. I didn't say anything. Open the door and receive an invitation from the Emperor. This is a summons to the war. Because the war is coming. It's a meaningless war. In the name of a missing prince. Around the changing door, and the door opened, with a house in the next kingdom, where the law was adopted as the national flag. Peter wakes up, are preparing to make breakfast. How to come back from a black door. And I have no opinion about. An old woman suddenly appeared in her house. How also cooks for Tilapia. And we have a cooking scene. Beautiful looks like. Spirit collecting the whole family. At breakfast. House asked about the paper in Africa's pocket. That's what the fat witch left behind. Sophie doesn't know anything. House said this paper was the flame of love. Talk about fire and leave a message. The witch of the dead will come. Touch and remove House's heart. Literally, your father is afraid of you. Not afraid to order. Let the Shiper run, let it go. Then you take a shower to wear the boy. Mark interrogates Sophie because he thinks she's a witch. Sophie was muzzled before she could clear her mouth. It's like the witch's curse. I eat goddess rice every night. She was drunk, so Sophie had to clean up. Sophie cleaned the stove. I didn't realize the casino was going to shut down. Fortunately, the moat showed up in time. Put the rest of the casino on your hand. What's in your hand is fluttering like a burning heart. The casino is fed wood to live a guy. Then the moat walked out the black door, leaving the gypsy screaming for Sophie. Almost killed it. Casino! It's not allowed to die off because then the moat will go too. Sophie doesn't care. Ignore the casino's warning and keep cleaning. Then take it outside. Look at the lands they've been through. Both, they found the beadhead trapped inside the castle, so they have a new companion. About the trenches you're dying in on the battlefield, in the shape of a large bird, to fight the king's hired witches. I returned to the castle after the battle. Full of myself, lie still in bed. House starts talking to old lady Tofi that you and your castle have always run away from the fat witch, from gaming ghosts from the temple fire of war. Oath of allegiance to the emperor. You have to show up to the royal family, to the battlefield, and to get out of this situation. Coffee is your mother. May the emperor spare me from a dozen battles. The sushi looks fake and is only 20 years old. There is still a sim on Luffy's hat. The old woman listening to House steals her ass to the palace. I know that old people are shy. House put on her hand the guide ring and remind her that I'm going to run a follow-up page in case something goes wrong. Sophie was leisurely walking on the road. Then the dog grows old. I thought it was House. The old woman is talking about the dog. The Witch of the Dead appeared next to her. Julian was invited to the palace. Lemon Worm is AI, we will see. BBWFAKE about her But how strong? It's also the magic of the palace. Lost all the magic. He had to climb his fat body up the stairs. After class magic camouflage, gradually upside down the archetype is a wrinkled old woman. The dog with her led Sophie into a small elevator, leaving the fat witch in the hall. I was scared to death by the glasses and the whore. Sophie is led by the servant to see the Sherman, or the Dr. Stream of this world. It's very ingenious. It turns out that the Dog Theo Sophie is from old Lady Sherman. There's nothing wrong with that. Julian saw that House wasn't with her. Take advantage of bad talk about you. That you were an excellent student of BA. Until one day, House was stolen by a demon, and can't keep learning. Hurt people want to hurt others. From there, Howe turned to the profession of stealing the hearts of sisters. The fat witch is then brought in. After losing all the magic, she looks like a bunch of slime. Go back to your real age. Julie threatened this would be the end of the ditch if he doesn't obey. And to be saved, we must obey the royal family. When Sophie doesn't believe it, she is weak. That's the fire of love for the moat. Or whatever the fuck. Fucking makes you young again. The king came back to spoil. This is the fake king. The fake king is stinging things. The real king came in, proudly bragging about the new warpla to reveal his identity, but Julian remained calm. She called out to the charity that surrounded the room. Because you can do anything in this space. The moat is starting to turn into birds all over the place. Sophie's the fat which flies away. Ba landed on a nearby plane. Sunnyman's dog also chased. She seems to like Sophie. The soldiers followed Theo, but the trenches screamed, using Bon Sinititsu to create a body part to guide. Soldiers, let Sophie find her way back to the castle, thanks to the ring, which will always point towards the casino fire. In the evening, Sophie, the little girl and the dog came home, carrying a stupid landing screen who ruined a corner of the castle until midnight when everyone is sleeping. Then he returned in the form of a dead body. Sophie is strangely no longer old, waking up in the night and found a bird's cage on the floor. She followed the feathers, and I found the big bird crouching, row in the corner room. He offered to help but was rejected. Sophie startled and woke up. Turns out it's all just a dream. Sophie, I wake up wondering how I can help. The next day, the fat lady kept paying attention to the casino. At breakfast makes the firewood tickle. House is back to normal. You've been doing tail magic for a long time and you moved to a new place. Parkland Pro, where can you do that? I don't have to clean up. Where House Tail comes from is Sophie's hometown. The moat even made a door connected to the flower field. Let Sophie enjoy her old age. But what's old now that Sophie's young again? Thanks to my love for House. House took her to the middle of the field. Please be happy. But Sophie was nervous because she was afraid the trench would go away. And the fear of an inferiority complex brought Sophie back into shape. People love tea. Then in the valley, a warship appeared. The hired witches came out of the ship to be proud. But I was able to improvise. Sophie ran away from Suleiman's minions. He dropped the old lady at the door fighting and came with the warship until the night that luck doesn't come back. So Sophie's really worried. Outside, people are evacuating because the flames of war had landed in Sophie's hometown. In the dark, the bombs fall on the city. Sophie anxiously ran out. Was discovered by Sadiman's scarecrows to rush into attack. The bombs saw that fall on you too. Fortunately, the queen was proud to save the scarecrows to Lapierre. Back to the castle. The casino is on fire to protect everyone. Then we're on the battlefield again. I feel the need to protect the muse or the old woman, the fake Potter, no matter what Sophie is, so the trench won't run away from war anymore. Sophie is determined to contribute to her lover by turning the doorknob and get people out into the suburbs. In the bomb, she saw the moat laying down with the warship. Sophie takes everyone with the casino out of the castle to save the moat from entanglement and protect the entire castle. As soon as the casino goes out, the castle collapsed. For more fire energy, Sophie's pigtails. Come on, pigtails. I built a mini castle. The wreckage with the beat head leading the way. The little castle moves to the place where it's fighting. But the fat witch was enchanted by the flames. Maybe it's because there are some TikTok dancers selling it. She grabbed the calcium from her clothes and got burned. Sophie had to put out the fire to save the old woman. But it's done. Love you, but put out the fire in your heart. The little castle is gone. The casino collapsed. Sophie's group fell into a nearby ravine and separated from the group. So you're not dead, but you are. Because I lost him. Crying about things. Sophie saw the ring on her hand light up, and its light is only in ruins. Remains of the castle. Behind it is a black door. Sophie walked in. I saw some of House's memories, or House's past, or something I'm willing to take. But from the distance, Sophie felt proud as a child. You're trying to swallow a star. Give back your heart to it. The ring that shows the way is broke. Sophie is dragged back to reality. You with the moat. Tell the boy to find himself in the future when you're pulled back into reality, where the moat is waiting for you in the shape of a giant bird. The big bird takes Sophie from meeting Marco and Duke Kukai. Sophie takes back the casino from where the fat witch gave it back to the ditch. Let's break the curse, the wizard and the fire. But you forget that the board you're standing on is the casino. Build up. As soon as the casino is free, everything goes down. Sophie falls twice a day. Crash the number B a plank down the slope. Fortunately, the B head stopped. For people and their dogs are safe. Sophie thanked the radish head with a kiss. Suddenly, it turned into a human. This is the lost prince of the kingdom, besides the cause of his mother's death. Sorry for the war. I must have found the prince. The war is over. House wakes up to Sophie's delight. And Suleiman's dog contacted his owner. It's a beautiful ending to this movie. The movie ends when the senseless war is stopped. The conceiver is freed, but he came back because he missed Sophie and everyone else. House and Sophie. There is a beautiful love story on the castle-based control, and that's the end of the castle. The wizard's cage. The lesson is, love can be a young person raw in many senses. So let's make money and get old. If you love, then you can be young again. The poor are suffering.